Hi everyone, and thanks for popping by. Today's a really exciting day for us. We had to go to the US Embassy to apply for our B2 visas. It's quite a long process, so today was a culmination of our application. So I'm going to take you along with us, show you the US Embassy and share some little tips of what we've discovered by visiting the embassy today, and let you know the outcome at the end. So stick with it and see how we got on.
Thank you for our visas.
So how did we get on? Well, the outcome's fantastic. Uncle Sam said yes, and we got our B2 visas, and our passports have come back, and basically our B2 visas have been inserted. What does that mean? It means that we can basically now stay for up to 6 months every time we enter the US. There's no limit to the times we can enter each year. So for example, we can go to Florida, where we've got our home, for 6 months. And if we go on a little holiday, say to Mexico for a week, and decide to come back to Florida, the 6 months kind of starts over again. So it just gives us that flexibility that if we want to spend longer in Florida, that we can. And that is the intention, that as the years go on over the next few years, that we will spend longer and longer time in Florida, because we absolutely love it. So that's really fantastic news. So we're over the moon. It is, like I said at the beginning of this vlog, quite a lengthy process. There's quite a lot of form filling into and documentation that you have to send in advance. And as you could see from the vlog, when we got there, we then had to wait for what was called our assessment interview. And I think that's where they verified all the paperwork, etc. And then we had to go for our sort of formal interview. And that's where we asked specific questions like why we want the B2 visa, who we are, how we're connected, and so on. So we went through all of that process, and there were dozens of people at the embassy applying for various visas. So, you know, it's obviously a very popular destination to want to get to. So anyway, the culmination of all that is that we've got our visas. They're valid for 10 years. So we don't need to go through this process again for another 10 years. But I also think that I believe that when you come up for renewal, it's actually much simpler now that you've got it. But it's fantastic, and we can relax. We've now got our visas for the next 10 years. Couple of little tips to share with you about visiting the embassy. Right across the road from the embassy is a lovely Waitrose, and it has a car park. And people can park in that car park for up to 2 hours for free, no charge, as long as they buy something from the supermarket, which is fair enough. And it's literally, you come out the car park and the embassy is across the road, so it couldn't be closer. So if you have to drive into London like we had to, purely because of where we live, it's so far away, it would have just took forever to do it by train, and actually really expensive to go by train. So we opted to drive because we picked up the tip about the Waitrose car park on another vlog. So so right across the road, Waitrose car park, you can park there for up to 2 hours, and all you need to do is show your receipt and you're fine. If you go over 2 hours, there is a charge, but even that wasn't very expensive. So that's a really good tip and useful for anyone that's going to the embassy. When you go to the embassy, as you would expect, it's very secure. There are lots of police officers outside with guns and so on. So don't be daunted by that. That you would expect to see that in a location like that. And the security is very tight. So, for example, my other half had a bottle of water with him, and the security guy said to him, "Can you please drink some of that, sir, before you go into the building?" So obviously they're just checking to make sure it's no sort of dodgy liquid of any sort. So so Grant had to drink some of the water before he could let in, and so then we went in, and it's an absolutely beautiful building. I think they've only actually been there since 2017. I think prior to that, the US Embassy was in Chancery Lane, and it had been there for, I think, since the 1950s. But yeah, so the US Embassy actually built this latest building, and it is a beautiful building. It's a lovely piece of architecture. And I've got to say, the actual system, when you get there, it runs like clockwork. So the process when you get there, being checked in, your assessment interview, and then your formal interview, it all runs concurrently. So it's a very slick machine that they got going there, and actually it was a very pleasant experience. So we enjoyed our visit to the embassy, and everyone we encountered was lovely, very polite, very friendly, and very welcoming. So so if you do need to go there, there's perhaps some little tips to share with you and give you the heads up of what to expect. But visas are here, so we're over the moon. So we're going back to Florida in exactly 6 weeks today, and we're going to be there for at least 5 months. So I might do a couple of more little vlogs between now and here in the UK, but once we hit Florida, you can expect to see lots and lots of Florida content vlogs. So thanks again for watching my vlogs. I really do appreciate it. If you like this one, give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate it, and please consider subscribing. It'd be nice to get a few more subscribers and take you along with me to future vlogs. So so thanks again for popping by. See you soon.